So bear with me because not a lot of what you see here on the screen is going to really kind of match up with what I'm speaking here today. And that's okay. I just wanted to have some B-roll rolling while I kind of got into this philosophical discussion I wanted to have a little bit about Star Citizen. And one of the things I think I struggled with a little bit this year, in particular with Star Citizen, is quite frankly a little bit of burnout. Outside of some very challenging real-life issues that I faced this year, 3.17 has really been quite a long slog. I don't think many remember how stable 3.16.1 was. I believe that was the patch prior to 3.17 going live. I actually played for over a month without a 30k on 3.16.1. I was testing mining gadgets in the PTU in 3.17 before Invictus took 3.17 live, and I honestly felt like it wasn't ready for prime time. However, it was launched anyways, and then came the exploits and the wipes and the delays. Now, turning a little bit towards the philosophical side of things, I'm a musician, and when I was a kid, I played guitar and was really blessed to play with some really incredibly talented people. I was a huge fan, and still am a huge fan, of Pink Floyd and Radiohead. Very heady, very moody, brooding music. And while I'd be careful not to call it emo, it did have a feelings element to it. And then meanwhile, you had bands like Van Halen who were just filling arenas with pretty gals and having some fun on Saturday night. This is a concept I've shared with Zell and mentioned once or twice in the podcast. People don't want to necessarily hear about other people's problems outside of sensationally. Or at least given the choice on a Saturday night of chatting about brooding emotions or going out for a beer and a laugh, it's a really easy choice between the two. I often think to myself in that classic 50-year-old me going back to chat with the 17-year-old guitar player me, I would tell you that guitar player, hey, maybe the second coming of the wall won't be as fun as, say, something like a song like Jump. Now, I'm not burnt out in the sense that I don't enjoy the project. In many regards, I'm somewhat obsessed with Star Citizen Project. I wake up and check on videos every day. What's more for Dig That or Space Tomato up to in their vids? What's Grumpy Eye saying? What's Jack Axon doing? Is he streaming today? Is Starstream streaming today? Is Avenger 1 chatting about combat? Is Ferrister, showing a video about a ship or a point of interest? And, we're incredibly blessed in the Star Citizen community to have some unbelievable content creators. And just to shout out a few, the Eradicator, the work that he does. This year I've really come to terms with why Salty Mike takes such a measured response. The work that InfoRunners does, they do great work. Loud Guns stuff is just fantastic. Of course, Board, does a really good job. 10 Pound 42, what he does with the hardware stuff. In Star Citizen, of course, Nubifier, Super Mac Brothers, there's Dark Hour 717, Camero, Subliminal, excellent, Jonathan Winters and his combat stuff, Mastodon's channel, Sandy Claus channel, as a matter of fact, is fantastic. Red Monster, SC, very, very, very good. Once again, Azure Lands. The Astro Historian, Lawless Baron. There's so many unbelievable content creators. Those are the ones I'm just kind of off the top of my head, kind of rattling about. So, I wouldn't say that I'm, in any way burned out on Star Citizen. The gameplay of Star Citizen has had its challenges. I'm 100% hook, line, and sinker for the project. And I also very much like Quantania mining. And most of you know me for that in the game. I do tons and tons of prospecting. I'm a very good Quantania miner, and with this channel, I've been really blessed to have wonderful support. Over this last year, I've had hundreds of hours of excellent gameplay, and I've participated in a leadership role on some 20, plus person mining operations. So I do think that there's an interesting future for Star Citizen. Of course, the question is when. And it's a good question. But that's the balance I'm trying to strike right now. And one of the reasons I'm kind of here chatting with you about it is I want to stay optimistic. I want to stay positive. I want it to be more Saturday night beer and a laugh than I wish it did this or I wish it did that. And SIG hasn't necessarily made it easy this year. And so I just wanted to kind of speak to this a little bit. This is the beginning of a new year, and I'm going to do my best on my channel to try and stay as glasses half full as possible. I don't want to necessarily be a white knight or have rose-colored glasses, but I also don't want to spend my time in the doldrums or be so concerned with what Star Citizen isn't that it actually is driving me away from everything that it is. And so I don't want to be naive, but I also don't want to necessarily be dark or angry, because we all do this for enjoyment and entertainment. So anyways, that's what I wanted to kind of speak to you about, this kind of this internal philosophical struggle that's been going on with me and Star Citizen lately. Is hey, I want to feel like that feeling that I got the first time I was on Daymar and walked out of the cave and I could see Crusader over the top of my 135C, and I was just absolutely floored by the scale and what Star Citizen's potential is. And I want to kind of stay in that bubble without necessarily being a fool, without necessarily thinking that maybe I'm a little too over the top with this. So anyways, that's kind of one of the things that I'm going to be working to strike a balance on. I have some great news. I have some 4K gaming equipment that I have sitting on a shelf behind me that I'm going to be building very soon. I'm going to be working on 4K content this year. I'm also going to be working on doing as much, learning as much about video editing tools and that type of stuff. Really trying to step my game up as far as delivering content. So, in the interim, I will continue to kind of struggle for time because I am kind of on the daily, pretty busy. But I'm going to do my very best to kind of continue to create content that I think is helpful or meaningful to you and to the game and to the to the industrial part of the game specifically. But anyways, I just wanted to say thank you all for an absolutely stellar year. Here's to 2023. Here's to staying positive. It's probably going to be another long one. So let's hang out together and have some fun, you guys. I'll see you all around the verse.